What's up, it's the Fragrance Apprentice. Welcome back to the Compliment Factor. So the basic premise of the Compliment Factor, this is a relatively new show. You might not have seen episode 1, but there is. This is basically going to be quick-fire reviews of brand new fragrances that have come out this year. All fragrances discussed will have come out at least this year, and so it's just a quick-fire so that you just get new information very quickly without it being a full-on review. So we're going to be starting off with Byredo's Sundazed. So, Bal d'Afrique Sport... Bal d'Afrique Edition Blanche. Bal d'Afrique Sundazed. Byredo Sundazed is basically Bal d'Afrique with the Edition Blanche treatment. That's basically it. It's got the same kind of lemon meringue pie kind of deal. It's pretty bizarre. I smelt it and just thought, dude, what? Just make. Well, I mean, Byredo can't literally come out and say we're making a Bal d'Afrique Sport. They wouldn't do that, but that's basically what it is. It's got the same kind of vetiver, creamy vetiver kind of thing that Jerome did, and it's the same kind of deal. And I was a little bit let down, a little bit disappointed. I thought that there would be a bit more going on. If you own Bal d'Afrique, I just probably wouldn't bother, and because of that sunny, lemony kind of citrus that is added on top of the beautiful, creamy, exuberant Bal d'Afrique, I just kind of put off, and I just found it kind of almost more like parody than an actual fragrance release. I probably wouldn't be bothered. It's kind of a thumbs down from me, but who knows? In the years to come, I'm using up my 50ml of Bal d'Afrique. When I finish it, I might be tempted more towards this. But just buy Bal d'Afrique, and if you want your summer fix, just buy a L'Or Edition Blanche. But if you like those two so much, and you love them so much, and you ship them, and you just wish that they would get together and make a child, then check out Sundazed by Byredo. Okay, so next up we've got a woman's fragrance, Mugler. Why is French so hard? So this to me was actually a very pleasant surprise. Really so much. I would give this immediate thumbs up. This is basically, you get the Angel Cologne and you put in freshly sliced mango in there. And mango is kind of like getting a bit of a trend at the moment on the up. Oud Rain, of course, by Rainier, uses mango, which is a great use of it. But one of the things that I really like about this is I just adore flankers that just do what they're supposed to do. There's just so many flankers, especially in the fragrance world, I've said this before, where they're just like, oh, well, I guess the oud's in, let's just slap some oud on there, and it's got nothing to do with anything, and it's just completely irrelevant. And that's why I loved Hugo Boss's oud, because it took the DNA of Hugo Boss bottled, which was the apple, the cinnamon, the vanilla, and then put oud into it, and it just made something that, in the end, you were just like, oh my god, that's so obvious. Why didn't anybody think of that? Well, they did, actually, because they made it. But, like, I just love that when it's creativity with restrictions, creativity with an original concept, and then you take a note, and then you go, okay, oh, actually, this is like a match made in heaven. And mango, freshly cut mango, and it's really good mango, put in with the tar, like candy floss of Angel. You just put it together, and on paper that sounds terrible, that sounds cloying, that sounds over the top, but you put it on and it's this overtly rich, fun, tropical fragrance that just smells more like a pina colada than Virgin Island water does. To me, Virgin Island water never smelled like a pina colada. It definitely smelled a lot like Malibu. Definitely smelled like Malibu, 100%, but Pina Colada has different elements to it, and it has those kind of more fruitier elements, and yeah, you're leaving out the mango. And yeah, Mugler's new women's fragrance is a lot of fun. It's really good. I really love it, and I could imagine that if you're a woman who has a really bubbly personality, or maybe you're kind of an introvert and you want to kind of push out a bit more of a kind of an extroverted vibe, then this is 100% for you. Probably one of the, I'd say actually, apart from Angel, it's the greatest female release that Mugler has ever done, and just thumbs up. Fantastic, guys. Next up, we're on a roll with really solid women's releases this year. Tom Ford released Metallique, and just fantastic. A really solid women's fragrance release, where it's just so good to be getting a few of those incoming, especially in this year. Brilliant. And this has got a really kind of rugged, chocolate-like base, but it does have these more metallic, silver, kind of iron elements, and it's a bit of a trip and a bit crazy, and thank God. You know, I'm just so glad when I know that Tom Ford, they're under Estee Lauder now, and people were like, "Oh my God, are they going to be a little bit more mainstream? Are they going to be boring?" I got to hand it to them. They have come out with some very wild releases under Estee Lauder, and that's really cool. And yeah, sure, they've done more safer options, and they've done stuff that is going to be a bit more mainstream, like ombre leather. But good for them, you know. I've got ombre leather now. I think it's a great fragrance, and it's good to have that, and it's good that they have that balance. I think that them signing up with Estee Lauder has not been a bad thing, and this is a testament to it. It's a very experimental, gourmand with shavings of metal, with a little bit of a flurry of florals. It's crazy, it's mental, but I sprayed it, I smelt it, and I thought, that is a Tom Ford, and that is wild, and I'm probably going to buy it, and might even wear it myself, but especially as a woman's release, to just not be insulting. I find a lot of women's releases these days to be very disgustingly safe, and very obnoxiously, like, clean cut, like, oh, we don't want to give women any experimental or strange or out the box kind of stuff. No, they're not ready for that. But that's just ridiculous, and that's stupid. And so, you know, thumbs up and kudos to Tom Ford for releasing something that's very wild, a little bit edgy, but it's wearable, and if I smell that on a woman, I'd love it. So, thumbs up. Oh yeah, and Gucci male cologne and female cologne. And then Bottega released their two fragrances, Illuminary, and I smelt those. The male, again, I actually preferred the female one to the men's one, because that had this really cool, solid orange blossom note that was very well rounded, with a few sugary elements, a very nice floral element. And it just had three kind of base lines, which was the orange blossom, a little bit clean cut floral, and a little bit sugar just to pump that up. And I thought, damn, that's actually good, and I preferred it to the male version. The male version was good as well, but it was very standardized. It was a very straightforward citrus soapy wood, which Bottega, that's kind of their bread and butter. It's what they do, and they do it very well, and they were just like, yeah, okay. So very cool. But I did prefer the women's one. I think that it just had something about it. It was quite rich. It was quite volatile, and that's what I want to see a bit more with Bottega, you know, because they do their bubble bath kind of soapy herbal fragrances, and they do them to perfection. They do them extremely well, and Bottega Veneta's Pour Homme is one of the greatest fragrances in the designer market today, because they have that honed down, very much like Prada have got their kind of like soapy style honed down. But this was kind of a step aside, something outside of their comfort zone, especially in the women's division of their fragrances. So the men's is still getting a thumbs up. They stuck to what they're strong at. But the women's one gets a bigger thumbs up, because it's like, yes, there's something more. You know, you've got other strengths that you're now honing into, and just go for it. Don't be afraid, Bottega. We'll support you. We'll love you, and we'll support you, and just give us some more interesting and unusual stuff. Anyway, that is the compliment factor for this week. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye. I'm the Fragrance Press. I'm out.